was ready to type. Sorry for being a little late, but it said that I needed some software, and then I apparently didn't need it. So, hello, Karen. Happy Sunday, Nancy. Hello, people. So we have 6 people so far. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay. Good. I was concerned. I wasn't sure if it was going through or not. So, how is everyone today? Oh boy, actually, I don't know if there's a way I can edit that. They had me put on slow mode so that people couldn't respond too much and overwhelm the system. La Brea, my brother watches that, and he said it's very good. I watched the first episode. I didn't go any further, and I'm doing pretty well today. I just finished doing some experimental baking, and if any of you have seen the berries and cream cake I've been trying to get done, I think I've got it done, but only time will tell. I need to find out if there's a way to shut off that slow mode. Let me check up here. 53, it's only like 34, I think, here. Um, but tomorrow it's supposed to be up in the 40s, then it's supposed to get up into the 50s. So, oh, thank you, Deanna. Hi, Sandy. I've got to try to figure out if I can turn off that slow mode. 70. Oh, I can't wait for 70. That's like my ideal temperature is like 75 around there. If I could find some place year round that does that, I'd be in heaven. Let's see. Yeah, it's like it's not too hot, it's not too cold. 75 is just perfect. Trying to see if I can change that slow setting because if some of you are trying to write, it might be causing problems. So let's see if I can figure that out. I don't know. I can't see. Oh, thank you, Lori. I can't see how to turn off the slow mode. So if you are typing and it gets a little sluggish, it's not letting you type. It's because there's like a 30-second delay that I don't currently know how to turn off. Oh, that's our fireplace. I was trying to sit in the seat at the end of the table, and there was too much light from the window behind me, so I decided this was a better spot. Actually, light's coming in from the door over that way. So does anyone have any questions? Anything that you thought you could ask while I'm actually live? And this is my unedited self, so you get to see the things I do edit out, like when my voice starts to go or when I accidentally throw something. 22. I mean, at least I'm inside, so yes, thank you, Nancy. Yes, hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. I would appreciate that. I gotta see. I don't know if I can. Just lost the chat now. There it is. Most days I do cook. On occasion, Paul will decide that he wants to have something from elsewhere, and I'm usually okay with that, especially if um, it's like been a long week and I'm cooking the whole time or doing other things like experimenting with recipes. Then I usually like to have time where I can order, but um, yeah, usually I do cook. But unlike a lot of people, I don't meal prep, which I really should, or at least have a schedule because I usually just cook flying by the seat of my pants. And I mean, it usually turns out well, but there are times where it doesn't. Oh, well, I hope that basement has some nice hiding spots, Sandy. Yep, Nancy, I have lived in the Northeast. uh, Actually, most of my life. I can't say all because I did live in New York, which I guess is still Northeast, but it's not like New England where I really grew up because I lived in Connecticut for most of my life. And I didn't move to Massachusetts. Well, I moved to Massachusetts once um, years before I met Paul um, to move in with a friend, and then went back to Connecticut, and then I've been in Massachusetts since I met Paul almost 23 years ago now. Hey, Kim, I got my coffee too. Um, okay, let's see. New recipes. Yes, I was just talking about how I've been trying to perfect my berries and cream cake. If any of you have seen the ones I posted on Facebook, second one did not turn out well. This one is a little darker on the edge, but I'm hoping that when I cut into it, it's not going to be leaking all over. And it's not leaking now, which is a big step up from the previous recipe. So I think I might have it, but we won't know until I can taste it later today. The motivation to create my YouTube channel, actually, it was my friend Bree from Balancing Life with Bree. I kept sharing my recipes with her and having her do videos to share them if she wanted to. And then she said, well, why don't you do your own channel? That way you can just put out your recipes. And I was extremely anxious to do so for a very long time. Um, but I ended up feeling more comfortable with it. It's a bit of a chore because I have to set up all the cameras. You can see over here, maybe, the camera system and the lights. I have to set all of that up and get everything prepped. So it's a lot of work to do beforehand, and then all of the editing takes some time, um, especially if my body is not cooperating with me. Hi, Becky. Nice to see you too. Bar Harbor. Oh, yeah. Bar Harbor is very nice. Let's see. Are you going to cook some? Yeah, see, Lori, I would cook a lot more with beans. but Paul is not a bean fan. He usually thinks of it as like a filler. So I usually have to, unless it's something just for me, but usually I try to make things for both of us. Yeah, and the cake, fingers crossed that it actually turns out as well as it looks. Yeah, Bree, I love Bree. Bree is one of my besties on YouTube. We chat all the time offline. The same with Jennifer Lynn from the Jennifer Lynn channel. We all chat together. I've been doing YouTube. Actually, it's almost coming up on 2 years. I think April 23rd of 2021 was my first video. So we're coming up on 2 years, which I'm surprised that I've lasted this long because I thought, oh, I'd do a few, nobody'd be interested, and I wouldn't be able to come up with any more recipes to do. I really do have to start doing other people's. I always say at the beginning, whether those recipes are mine or someone else's, they're usually mine. So I really do need to spread my wings and start doing more of other people's. Uh, Thank you, Karen. That's very nice. Yeah, I mean, I try to make things that are very easy. I won't say simple necessarily, but I try to make things that are easy. I don't want to have to give people special ingredients they have to go find and, um, things like that. I want it to be things that you'll have around the house. Like there have been recipes I've wanted to do that involve skinny syrups, but I want to find another way to do that because I don't want you to have to go out and get skinny syrups or anything specific. Or if anything's too obscure, I try not to use it because I'm trying to make it accessible to everybody. Kim, I am not professional at all. And Lori, I will let him know. Um, and actually, I got smart, I think, and I got people's YouTube channels ready so that I could share them. This one is Sandy's over at Life with Sandy. And then now I have Tim's is right here. So let me share those before I forget because my mind is not what it used to be and it never was very good. Um, yeah, Sandy is, I mean, don't tell her because she'll get a big head, but Sandy is one of the great people out there. Um, Paul will not come on the show. I actually told him, I said, this is not like when I'm recording my video, I have to shut him away in the office. And I said, you can come out if you need to go use the bathroom or what have you, and don't worry about making the noise because I'm doing the loft. But hey, Scott. Um, but I said you could, if you wanted, behind the camera. You don't have to get on screen. You could actually come in and say hi. I just noticed my plywood here. Say ADD. Um, but I said you don't have to be on camera. He goes, no, no thanks. So I don't think you'll even hear his voice. I've even tried during when we were doing those tags. I even tried to get him to read the questions to me, and no go. So I don't think you will be seeing Paul at all. Yes, Dish with Dee. I love Dee also, and actually, even though I know she's at church, I believe today. Let me share Dee's channel too. I'm sure most of you already follow her anyway. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Hi, Kathy. You're welcome, Sandy and Kim. Yeah, I do. See, I try to find recipes that I want to make that like say beef stroganoff is one that I'm kind of working on now. Um, but I take usually the recipe I really want or really want, um, and then see how I can play with it to turn it into my own thing. Even some of the WW and um, what's her name? Uh, Something Girl. Why am I going blank? And Hungry Girl. Even some of their recipes, I look at them and I'm like, I know you could get the points and bites down lower than that. So I always try to find ways that I can manipulate a recipe to get it as low in bites and points as I can. Yeah, Deanna, I love those two channels too, as well as Kim's. Been following all of them. Actually, for the most part, before I started my channel, I started following most of the channels that I'm now kind of connected with. Becky, I am with you. If you know anything about me, seafood, no, I cannot do it. Um, but I do remember like noodle casserole and things like that. No. And Paul loves tuna, so I will make it for him. He likes his with bacon, or, and this one may throw you off, um, he actually likes tuna on a hot dog. I think it's the saltiness of the hot dog with the tuna. I don't know. I don't get it. But he also likes bacon on his tuna sandwiches. So, yeah, Hungry Girl. That's it, Kathy. I go blank all the time. You should see what I clip out of my videos because I've suddenly forgotten what I was making. Or thank you, Christy. Yeah, I see. I try to be as detailed as I can, give you some background, give you some explanation of why you're doing things, so that way it'll help you when you make something that you'll be like, oh wait, this is why I should be doing this. I sometimes worry that I get a little too long-winded about it, because Paul mentioned that early on in my videos. But I'm like, I actually had someone who complained and said, I can't spend all this time watching these videos. And I was like, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm trying to do this for everyone, and not everyone has the same level of cooking experience or whatnot. So, I do try to be as detailed as I can. Oh, I was just showing them, Scott, that this is the third version. I don't know if it's a success yet. Um, we'll find out later today, and I will be sharing that on Facebook as I usually do. Um, I think it's going to be a good success, but time will tell. Yeah, I was even surprised, Kim, when I saw like Hungry Girls, not just her recipes, but the items that she'll share. Like, oh, go buy this or check out this. And I'm like, it's 11 points for that. I was like, that's way too much for me. I need to bring it down. Yeah, I'm afraid it's a little too warm to cut into it now. It's got to set because of that creamy center, but it's at least not running all over the place like the last one. It still tasted good, but then I ended up putting it in the refrigerator on a plate and assumed the cold would help it set up. And when I went in to go get some more of that cake, all of the cream had leaked out off of the plate into the refrigerator. So, yeah, that one was a miss. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, I mean, I got to be true to what I feel like I need to do. And maybe it's from having been a teacher that I just feel like I'd rather give more information than you need than to have you need information that I didn't give you. So um, that's just my way. Um, Yeah, Bev, I do usually find tapioca pearls. They're usually in a very small section. And if you have any section of the store that does Bob's Red Mill, they have tapioca pearls. And actually, that's the one I'm using now. But I actually got mine through Amazon just so I could get a bigger bag because some of the items that you can get the minute tapioca easily in the store. But the the pearls for some reason are a little harder to find. And to me, that's the real essence of the tapioca pudding. I mean, yeah, it sets if you use the minute tapioca, but you don't get those little pearls in there. But yeah, I do have, and I have it linked in my Amazon store front just in case. But if your store has a Bob's Red Mill, they may have it, they may not. But um, in a lot of places now, if you look online for specific products, a lot of them are now doing find in stores, so you can find them in stores that are near you, which is really helpful. Well, thank you, Nancy. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I don't think you have to be a good cook necessarily to do or good cook to do most of my recipes. That's why I try to give as much detail. If there is anything that's like, why would you be doing that? Um, but Oh, New Brunswick, Kathy. Yeah, that will be cold up there, I would imagine. I actually lived for a time when I was a kid up in Perry, Maine, which is like an hour from the Canadian border. Um, because, as many of you may know if you watched my introduction video ages ago, um, I belong to a tribe of Native Americans from Maine. So we did live on the reservation for about a year when I was younger. So I know how cold it can get. And that was in like the 70s when we used to have on the reservations outhouses and little pots under the bed for nighttime visits. So those days are over on the reservation. Now they have toilets usually. But yeah, or you're right. They might be in the pudding. Mine, um, a lot of times I'll see them by the cornstarch because some people do use it as a thickener. But they should be in the baking aisle either by the cornstarch or by the puddings. I will put that on the list for a Caesar salad dressing, Diana. I did just do a green goddess dressing, and it's really good. And I've been using it on everything. I made um, chicken salad using that in place of mayo. Paul was not a fan because he does not like herby flavors, as he calls them. He doesn't like that green flavor. So he did not enjoy it, but I thought it was great. So I will be doing that one, but I will add Caesar salad dressing. Actually, let me do it now before I forget because I will forget. And this, just so you know, this is the recipe sheet that I've been working on for this berries and cream. You can see, uh, yeah, a lot of crossing out, a lot of changing of ingredients, so a lot going on there. Yeah, Cam, I think being a teacher, like when I was teaching, I always wanted to make sure that you don't just. It's kind of like the old saying, "You can teach a man to fish, or give him a fish, or what have you." And I think that's the case. It's like I could teach these kids, okay, this is what you do, but without some reason behind it, I'm not sure it really sinks in as much. So I think giving more detail so people understand why they're doing what they're doing to me makes more sense. Oh, the gluten-free section. I didn't even think about that, Cassie. That might be a good shot. Yeah, and you can always ask at the service desk. I used to work at the service desk of a supermarket for ages, so I know. Yeah, Christy, it was very, very rustic. Um, Nowadays, things are much improved, but on the reservations, they didn't have much um, for a very long time, and then they got land grant money, so they were able to um, improve their living situation. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. I do try to be as instructive as possible and hopefully not go. I mean, I have edited things out and been like, okay, that might be a little too much information, but yeah, Kim. Well, we didn't call it a slop pot. We called it the chamber pot, but yes, not not a fun way to go. Oh, a T-shirt is actually from my tribe, Passamaquoddy. Um, my brother got me this. He had it made from a woman who does a lot of Native American T-shirts. Sandy, I'm sure there are plenty of people who see the slop pot as a decorative item, just like spittoons. I've seen people in like decorating shows putting spittoons out because, you know, it's part of history or whatever, but not a part I'd necessarily want to decorate my house with. But thank you, Lori. Yeah, some recipes go through a lot of changes before I get them um, down. But no, thank you, Nancy. Sometimes my voice doesn't always work correctly. I think it sounds like it's getting a little tight in there, but um, I appreciate that. Yeah, Denise can have the slop pot all she wants. So, staples. I always have flour. Um, but one of the things, and you may have seen this in a lot of my videos, is I will replace flour with protein powder in a lot of videos to help to lower the bites or points. Um, because sometimes using pure flour brings it up a little higher than I want. So I always have flour. I always have some protein powder. Um, I always have pumpkin puree, which Sandy, I know is not your thing. Um, I have um, chickpeas, like for my hummus, and or other types of beans. And even though Paul won't eat them, I definitely enjoy them. In my freezer, I usually keep chicken breast on hand. Um, I try to get 96% hamburger, but I've noticed even if I do 90, it's not too bad on the bites and points. So sometimes I will go with that if I can't find it, or even 93 is even better. Um, I always have broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, so I can make a little medley of vegetables if I need to. And this little hair, alfalfa hair, is driving me nuts. Um, Sorry, can't help it. Almond milk. I always have almond milk on hand. Wassa crackers, which I talked about during the hummus, dessert hummus video this week. I love those. And if you get the rye crisp breads, they're like two for one bite or point. So I can spread a little bit of hummus on those and have just a one bite snack. Get that crunch, get a little sweetness. It's really good. Let's see. Oh, Kathy, yes, we could be related. Yeah, Micmac, yeah, we definitely could be. I'm sure somewhere, I don't know if you're on any of those genealogy sites, but we'd have to check if we're connected. Very well could be somewhere along the line. Oh, I've never heard of that one, Nancy. Is it Pamunkey or Pamunkey? Pamunkey, I'm assuming. I haven't heard of that tribe. Listen, I went to Catholic school when I was a little kid, Bernadette. I wish they had social skills at that time. Um, the boys used to have to keep their hair cut really short, and the nuns would come back and pull those little hairs as you were talking. I once got sent home. I may have told this in a tag at some point, but I got sent home for lunch in the middle of winter with no coat on because I had been talking. My mother went to that school and reamed those sisters out. And she's like, "What is wrong with you?" I mean, I had to walk 5, 6 blocks. And I'm sure things are different now, but um, yeah, then the nuns, at least at that time in the school I was in New Jersey actually at that point. Oh, yeah, Kim, I do. Usually I will go, if it's, say, a cup of flour, I'll usually shake a quarter cup out and do protein powder instead. So usually it's about a quarter of um, whatever amount of flour there is. So I usually adjust it that way because usually it won't affect the structure that the flour is giving. So you can easily get away with that, reduce the bites and points a little bit, and get the protein improved if you need more protein. Oh yeah, the Bestie sugar. Actually, I just used the last of my Bestie powdered sugar in um, this cake here. Um, I get mine through Amazon. I can't find the Bestie in the stores either, Diana. So yeah, Amazon I think is your best bet. I mean, I remember when Amazon used to be the cheap place to go, and now a lot of times it's actually more expensive. But sometimes if you really need something, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, I get my bestie through Amazon. I have yet to see it in the stores. Yeah, Cassie, I love the Wassa crackers because you can get that satisfying crunch. They're filling, but they're not. I mean, it's not like a saltine or something, with a lot of fat in it. But for what it is, it's really good. Oh, I saw the. I didn't see the actual show Curse of Oak Island, but I saw on, I think it was Discovery Plus. I saw the little thumbnail for it, and it looked interesting. I didn't know that that was mentioned in there. Um, yeah, actually, Passamaquoddy, I don't hear it very often, but if any of you have ever seen Pete's Dragon, then you know the town that they live in is Passamaquoddy. Um, I'm assuming, because that's kind of a difficult word to just come up with in your head and actually have it be something else. So I'm assuming that's where they got the name. Um, but I did hear, I was watching some TV show, some I don't remember, not too long ago, and one of the characters was Passamaquoddy, so I thought that was interesting. Although they used a last name which is very common um, for Passamaquoddy's um, Saktoma, but they called it Saktama. And I'm like, you should have done a little more research if you were going to be using that name. Yeah, my mother did not take any crap, Lori. I mean, she didn't care if they were nuns. It's like, you sent my kid home like that? There's no way she was putting up with it. Huh. That's very interesting, Nancy. I'll have to check into that. Yeah, I didn't know about those. I mean, but there are so many tribes, and you only hear about the really big ones, the Sioux, and all of that. But for the Mohegans, it's like the bigger ones get the attention. Like most people have never heard of the Passamaquoddy either. So yeah, Chrissy, I hadn't either, but I was like, because I've mentioned before, Paul he's much more susceptible to the aftertaste of a lot of sweeteners. Like I can kind of overlook it. I notice it, but I can kind of overlook it. Now that I've been using these sweeteners without it, yeah, I definitely prefer those. So I was doing all sorts of research trying to find um, different sweeteners. I did, like I showed in the latest video, also tried the Splenda Magic Baker, I think it is, brown sugar, and that one's pretty good. And not all of them that have erythritol have that aftertaste. Maybe they don't use as much as others, um, but yeah, that one's a pretty good one too. I've only used Kanto once, and I liked it. I didn't mind it, but stevia, I don't like the taste of it. Early on, when I first started Weight Watchers, I'd gotten some sweeteners from Devotion. They do a lot of protein powders. I had won a gift card from Jen's WW Tribe. And so I said, "Oh, I'm getting protein powder." I had a little left over. I said, "Oh, let me get these sweeteners." They had all sorts of flavors, but they were stevia. And I just can't deal with the taste of stevia. Sometimes there are some, like the yogurt I recently got that I shared. It was the Light and Fit Zero Sugar, I think it was. That has stevia in it, but I don't get that taste. So it's not always present, but it's there enough that straight stevia I can't use. Um, See, whenever I drink soda coffee, it's usually Diet Coke. That's my go-to. A lot of the zero sugars are usually pretty good now. But yeah, I've tried the Zevia, and yeah, I think it's got stevia in it, probably where it gets its name. And I just could not deal with the aftertaste. So yeah, I couldn't do the Zevia either. But usually, I think from what I heard, the zero sugars, I thought they were using different sweeteners, but they may not be, that they may be just trying to do away with the word diet in a lot of sodas and pushing those away and doing zero sugar instead. Those I usually find very pleasant. Yes, Diana, I actually have. I've made English muffins before, not for the channel, um, but I have made them, and I love homemade breads. I've made breads a lot. I wasn't sure if um, a lot of people would be interested in breads just because there's very little way to reduce the bites and points because if you're using flour, that's what's going to happen. I'd probably sub in a little protein powder, um, but usually the flour kind of like overwhelms in bites and points. So I haven't thought of using that. I mean, of doing breads, but there is a bread that my tribe makes. It's a pan bread. You cook it on the stove top. That I was thinking of doing. It is mostly flour. There's a little sugar in it, but I would change that out for a sweetener. But I was thinking of doing that for the channel because it's like if you want a bread and it's a quick bread, it's not like a bread that you have to proof and do in the oven. It's like really quick. So if you guys would be interested in, me showing that, I'd be glad to show that on the channel as well. But I am thinking that, English muffins would be another good one because you do those on the stove top as well. Bernadette, I think a lot of sweeteners, I don't know, it's almost like some of them have almost like a laxative like effect. Not fully, but like they really do can affect your stomach. Um, but protein powders can as well, and or having too much protein, not protein powders itself. If you have too much protein in a day, you may notice that you are a little gassy, um, because that's what protein in excessive amounts will do. If you've ever had to go or know someone who had to go to a hospital or doctor's office to get boosts of protein, um, typically that's a side effect of having too much protein. I don't think there is erythritol in the bestie, actually. I can look that up right now because I am on my computer. Um, but yeah, I don't think so. I would go check the bag that I just threw away, but I don't want to leave you all sitting here in a lurch. So let me check here if I can actually type. My arms don't like being in this weird position. Um, nope, it is a blend of monk fruit extract and allulose. So that's why there is no aftertaste in that, Christy. So no erythritol in the bestie. Yeah, Tab used to be saccharin. I don't know if it still is or if they've changed it. Because I have seen it. Not it's rare for me to be able to find it, but oh yeah, Christy, non bread is really good. I love non bread. Okay, I mean, yeah, I definitely would consider doing that for the channel because, as I said, there are very few ingredients, and it's an easy um, way of remembering the proportions. Um, but yeah, I'll have to do that on the channel. And naan, I'm sure I could find a way to make naan bread also. All right, yeah, I will put the pan bread on my list. What did I do? See, my fingers are starting to cramp up, so they don't want to grab the pen, but they'll relax in a minute. Um, Now, the pan bread, just so you know, that we do, and I don't know why, is called Tom Francis. I don't know why they called it that. I know Francis is the name, the last name for a lot of people in our tribe. I don't know why Tom Francis got picked out, but that's what they call the bread. So, just a little side note there. Yeah, saccharin, Kim was, I mean, I remember my mother using it. And I remember it came in little pills sometimes that you could drop in whatever you were having. Yeah, Kathy, yeah. I mean, different things affect people different ways. And, too much of anything, even a good thing, is apparently not a good thing. You're welcome, Christy. Yeah, Kathy, definitely check it out. We don't get an aftertaste. And as I said, when we got it, I had Paul and I do a taste test of it just as is. We didn't get any aftertaste. So, yeah, I think I will have that put on the calendar, Christy, so that way I can talk about the tribe as well. So, all right, it looks like Pan Bread has it. So, yeah, I have my homework, Bernadette. Yeah, and if there's anything that you guys are interested in trying to whittle down, as I said, I'm working on like a beef stroganoff. Um, I have creme brulee on my list. It's honestly been on my list for a little while. I have to get to it. Um, and egg foo young, I have that on my list. Which egg foo young isn't that difficult as far as ingredients. It's more in how you prepare it because typically it's thrown into oil. So trying to do that without oil is a little more challenging. Yeah, Kathy, I remember. Yeah, they look like little tiny pills. Yeah, I have a kitchen torch, Lori, and honestly, I never use it unless I make creme brulee because that's Paul's favorite. Um, so for his birthday last year, I think it was, I went all out for his birthday and made him creme brulee, which is his favorite, and also beef Wellington, which is a little involved. And I did try to come up with a chicken Wellington using like a wrap, but the juices from the chicken kind of seeped into the wrap and didn't really get that crisp that you want from a Wellington. So I think I did it. Let me check while I'm here. I think I did do a pasta salad. Oh, wait. I did, oh man, my memory, I'm telling you, is shot. Let me see. Um, my, oh, you can see it. Maybe my arms are a little twitchy, so typing in is a bit much. Okay, I have the three bean salad. Yes, I have a light BLT pasta salad that I will share here. Yeah. I knew I had some sort. I mean, and that's like a very specific um, video, like BLT pasta salad, but it is so good. We love it. I haven't done a light pesto yet. Um, One of the problems, which I'm sure I can find a way around, is a lot of them use nuts, pine nuts, or something that a little fatty. Um, so yeah, I'll definitely add that to my list here. I don't know why I keep putting my paper away. 'Cause I know I'm going to need to write something else down. Um, Sandy, I have done mac and cheese. I've done my mac and cheese steak, um, and that one you can do without adding the um, meat into it if you prefer. So let me share that one with you as well. Um, let's see, what am I looking for? Cheese. Okay. So there you go, Sandy. You can just take out you can definitely take out the peppers so that Jim doesn't have a fit seeing a green vegetable in there. And you don't have to put the pasta in it. Oh, thank you, Bernadette. I appreciate that. I was actually very nervous, thinking my body is going to do something, my voice is going to do something. So far, it's holding off so far. Yes, I love the Fiber Gourmet, Lori. Unfortunately, it's so expensive, and I'm on a fixed income. I'm only on my pension and disability. So I can't, unless I find it in a store, and some health food stores, not really close, but some health food stores do carry Fiber Gourmet. Um, if I found it in a store, I might be willing to splurge. But if I try to order it, the shipping is so much that it's just like I can't justify it. Just like their flour, I'd love to try their flour. I just can't justify spending that money. Um, so, all right, Christy, I'm glad that you were able to join in. Have a wonderful week. Yes, Nancy. The peppers can stay in Jimmy's basement, and I'll find something to do with them when I'm stuck in there. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. You have a good rest of your day as well. Yes, we're almost coming up on an hour. Um, yeah, no veggies for Jim. And it's weird because my brother was the same way. He hated green vegetables. But I'm like, not all green vegetables taste the same. So I don't know what it is. I know certain colors of food, certain colors of vegetables in particular, or fruit, give you certain nutrients. So maybe there's something in the nutrients that you get from green vegetables that either their body doesn't need or what have you. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, I was like, thank you, Scott. I was, Andrea, my long lost sister. How are you? Um, yeah, I was just, I'm like, am I going to have enough to talk about? Are there going to be people asking questions or, what have you? But we're almost at an hour and I managed to do it. So I think that I'm thinking I'll do lives on occasion. I won't do them weekly like Kim because Kim, you're just better than I am at doing all of this. But maybe I'll decide to do it like a monthly thing. That way, it's not overwhelming people having to come on every week. Um, thank you, Catherine. Oh, thank you, Diana. That's very nice. Kim, you do so many more videos than I do. You know you're a pro. I am doing great, Andrea. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that you guys think this went well. I think it went well. I wasn't as worried once I started. I was worried at first because I saw something saying I needed some sort of software, and I'm like, oh no, I waited till the last minute to do this. And then I didn't need any software, so I don't know what was happening there. Oh, Kim, but we love you anyway. You're my girl and her phone. All right, yeah, I think I'll plan on doing a monthly chat. That way, it's not too overwhelming. And I think Sundays at 2 um, usually work best for me. I do generally do my shopping on Sundays, but I switched it this week to Saturday. But if that works, as a general rule, it seemed to be the most popular time when I was giving people times to choose from. Thank you, Kathy. You have a great week. All right. Well, I'm glad that you guys were able to join me. I think I will end it there since we are just about at the hour mark. But if anyone has any question or any suggestion for a recipe before we end this, that's true, Bernadette. We definitely are. I wish more people realize that, but it is what it is. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Deanna. Time to, yeah, I think I will schedule this as a monthly thing. Um, and if I can manage more, maybe I'd switch it to every other week. I don't know if I'd be ready to do every week like Kim. She's just such a go getter. Yeah, I'm glad you remembered to check in too, Sandy. Like I said, I was afraid I'd forget the time. But anyway, I'm so glad you guys were able to take some time and spend it with me. And um, 2 point fudge. I will see what I can do, Deanna. I don't know if I can get it that low unless I give you like a real small piece, but there may be maybe some way. We will see. Well, I appreciate you showing up, Andrea, no matter what. Us long lost siblings have to stick together. But all right, so guess I'm going to end this stream here. If no one has anything more that they'd like to ask or suggest, and I will hopefully see you all in another month. So, Iowa, I've never been to Iowa. I haven't been a lot of places, but all right. So I will plan on doing this monthly. I will do like I did with this time with the live, where I will set it up ahead of time so that you're aware, so you have reminders. Um, but like this video if you don't mind, and um, I know you will, Andrea. I appreciate that. Lori, I'm glad too, because yesterday I was having a lot of issues, and that's why I haven't been drinking my coffee on camera because I'm afraid I've done that before where I shoved something into my face and hit my teeth or what have you. Brushing my teeth is a lot of fun, I gotta tell you. Thank you, Ellen. I'm glad that you are able to stop by. I'm glad you guys made it and enjoyed it. And I will be doing more of these every month. I don't know what a month from today is, but I'm assuming the end of March at some point, we will have a Sunday 2 o'clock get together. So until next time, bye.